What's up, Tamers? It's your boy Gino. I'm here with Dan, and today we're going to be looking at some a little different, not Digimon cards, but Digimon games. I mean,
this is still the digital podcast.
there is a Digimon card game
the digital
in
podcast. Yeah. We're just, this is going to be different. This is like the Gino Dan show, not the Varney or Mike. We don't care about them scrubs. They weren't real Digimon fans when we grew up. You know what I'm saying? We were the ones in the trenches playing some terrible games, and some great games.
To be fair, I feel like most of them are good, but I guess we'll find out as we go. So our tiers real quick. We got God tier. These are the best games, obviously. Yeah. Then we got solid. And we have mid, and we didn't know what to name the tier in the middle. So that's just B tier, okay?
B tier is just somewhere in the middle.
It's not quite solid, and the game is a mid, but it's somewhere in the middle. And then trash tier for bad games, and then we have 3 extra tiers at the bottom, which we'll talk about a little bit probably when we get to them. But untranslated games, defunct games, so that means like a lot of mobile games, for example, you can't play them anymore, so they're defunct. And then games that are both untranslated and defunct. So yeah, that's the general gist. I have played every translated Digimon game to completion. So I can say stuff about a little bit of it. I didn't get to play a lot of the mobile titles, but I know Dan played a couple. So
yes,
we can talk about them when we get to them. So without further ado, let's hop in. Digimon World 1. Where's it go?
Oh man, that's instant God tier. There's no question about it. This is what started Digimon games, in my opinion, for at least America. And it started off with a banger. The game was great. As a kid, hard as AF, but like as I got older, I learned to enjoy the game for what it was and like understood like the hardness to it and like how to balance everything. Fantastic game. It's
a game that is super fun as a kid because it's so fun to just wander around File Island and like figure things out, but also incredibly fun as an adult once you understand the mechanics and the Digivolution.
Oh yeah, I think I enjoyed because I kid you not, every single year. Probably in the summertime. That's usually when I get my itch to play. I play Digimon World 1 once a year minimum. Like there's no question, if ands or buts about it. I have to do it. It's like a ritual for me at this point yearly. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm bored of like whatever current games is out. I'm like, it's a great game to play. Digimon World 1. You know what I'm saying?
Damn straight, dude. And I don't know why, dude, but like just the background music of just like natural sounds, just like click summer for me for
soothing.
Sure.
Yo, it's soothing like, for sure.
It's like, damn, it's summertime. It's time to play some Digimon World 1.
That's a fact.
Great game. And there's so much content in it. So much. Like, you can beat the game and still only see like maybe a third or 2/3 of the game. Like,
realistically, like, because I've done it just to try, you can like push it and win and like beat the game with like 2 lines of Digimon probably. Honestly, if you got perfect everything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is hard to do in general, but like if you play the game as much as I have, like like the ins and outs, where to go, where to not go at certain times, you can probably beat it in like 2 lines, like perfect runs on both Digimon lives. But even then, it's just so much fun to be able to learn like how to get to certain things. Like there's certain Digimon have special requirements, like Skull Greymon. One way to get them besides your natural way is you have a Metal Greymon that dies, goes into Digihose to Skull Greymon. Same with your champion to Bakimon, I believe.
Yeah. Bakimon has a chance to come in. I think whenever your rookie dies, you can just go straight to Bakimon.
Oh, it's a rookie. Okay.
I think so. But then I know Angemon, if he dies, he can go into Devimon. Yep. Like there's so many cool, like tiny things that'll happen. 50%. It's
a 50% chance of Angemon going to Devimon if Angemon dies in battle.
Shout out to the people who like figured this game out and like put it on the internet because it wasn't going to be me.
Well, the thing is, because back in the day, there used to be guides.
Oh yeah,
so
I have the guides and stuff.
I have the OG guides. So like I knew all like how to get everything. I was just terrible as a kid. Like I was like trying to get Greymon as a child. I was like, oh my god, this is impossible. I'm like, I have exactly 100 stats. Why can I not go into Greymon? Not understanding fully like discipline, the weight. Like I knew the weight, but like discipline is a big one in the game, obviously.
Yeah, discipline is so important, and like it's hard to read the meter, like honestly, because it's just a little bar. There's no like numerical value for it.
Yep. Yep.
So it's like hard to figure
all
out.
I know is 100% discipline is when it's blue with the glasses, with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's 100% discipline. That's what I've learned. So I've always knew that, and I'm always like, making sure to get the discipline all the way up ASAP for him. If you try and go to Greymon, the moment you try to get him.
Right.
What else? Yeah, just the fun fact. As a child, I had Digimon World 1, right, on PlayStation.
Same here.
My Digimon World 1 disc was so scratched up that the moment I got to Savannah Gear, me and my cousin, we used to pray that it did not freeze in between loading screens, because that was a major freezing spot for me. And so like we would try to do every single thing in Savannah Gear as soon as possible, so we never had to go back into that area. God forbid it freeze. We were just so effed. And then
Dude, that sucks, especially because Gear Savannah is like one of the best soundtracks too. That music's so good.
Facts. It was so good. And then as I got older, I found like a disc cleaner, and PS3 was able to play PS1 games at that time.
Yeah, the
and I
original
cleaned
PS3.
the shit out of it, and I was able to like get some of the scratches off. And I kid you not, on one playthrough, I was able to play the whole game. And then for some reason after that, I've tried to play it again. In the disc, I guess I messed it up after cleaning so much of it that it does not work again, like ever. It like instant freezes in certain spots. It was crazy.
But yeah, we got a lot of games, so we'll move right along. But Digimon World 1, goated game.
Yeah, facts.
Holy shit. Next game, Digimon Digital Card Battle. So this one is really cool. Honestly, when I first played this, I did not like this game at all. I don't know why. It just did not click with me. Like, I'm like, I hate this. I never want to play this again. And then for whatever reason, I'm like, you know what? We're going to try this again. And I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I think it's solid. I don't think it's quite God tier, but I think it's up there. It's pretty fun. The mechanics
I think it's solid.
The mechanics are like understandable. Go ahead, hit us with the story.
So I got stories for all these games.
Awesome.
So I remember back in the day when Blockbuster's around, and I accidentally rented this game, and then, or maybe it might have not been on Blockbusters. It might have been something that was like near me. That was like one of those like mom and pops like rental shops or something like that. And I rented this game, and I loved it. I was like, yo, this game is amazing. This is awesome. A Digimon card game on PlayStation 1. Great, fantastic. Definitely. I returned it, unfortunately, and I never saw it ever again. And I was so depressed until until I got older, and emulators and whatnot. It was
right. Well, I know at Blockbuster you can like you rent games, but you can also buy them. Maybe someone like straight up bought it or just never returned it, or who knows.
Yeah, I got another story for another Digimon World game by Blockbusters this time. But yeah, I think it's a solid game. I think it's like the first OG car game, so like weird mechanics sometimes and this, that, and other. I think the story is all right. It's not like the greatest story. They kept the same character from Digimon World 1.
Yeah, it's technically a follow-up, like in a weird sort of way, because like the last boss is the same last boss as Digimon World 1.
Yep.
So like, but they also added in all the Adventure 2 characters as well that you can interact with and play against.
I think the game has a what's it called? Like, it's not easy, but it's not hard. Like, it's little like a learning curve to the game.
Definitely
and then,
has a learning curve.
There's definitely points where you had to like, all right, how do I get my deck better? And because there's certain Digimon you fight that just their deck's just crazy at times, and you gotta grind it out.
Yeah, for sure. And you can sometimes abuse the systems too. Like I know an enemy mill deck is like really strong, because if you mill out your opponent, you just win basically, because you only have to defeat whatever Digimon they currently have in the playfield.
Yep.
So like there's lots of really cool strategies, and the game is just really fun to explore and experiment and unlock new cards. And I don't know, man. It's just, I think it's a solid game. It's no Digimon World 1, but it is a really fun game. Let's move on to, so I'm going to group these three together. They're untranslated and we just did not get them. But this is the Pocket Digimon World games. So PlayStation 1 had this,
anyways,
welcome back.
Yeah, sorry.
So these are the Pocket Digimon World games. We never got these ones. Okay. I grouped them together, even though technically Digimon World 2 came out in between them. But basically, what the Japanese PlayStation 1 had something called a Pocket Station. And it was this little device that you would put into your memory card slot. And then it was basically a Tamagotchi. It was very similar to like Dreamcast. If you know like Dreamcast VMUs, how you can pop them out and they had like little games on them. It was very similar to that. So it was basically like a Digimon World game mixed with a Tamagotchi that you could take out of your PlayStation and play on your own. We never got that peripheral over here in America, so even if these games were translated, we wouldn't really be able to play them. But yeah, so those are the three. There's like just Pocket Digimon World. There's like the Cool and Nature disc and like the Wind disc or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Japan is weird. Let's move on to the next Digimon World game, Digimon World 2. This one, lots of people don't like this game. God tier? God tier? You think DW2 is God tier? I don't.
All right, solid. Put in solid.
It's definitely going to be like the bottom of solid, because while Digimon World 2 is great and I enjoy it, and I know you enjoy it, obviously, it has a lot of pain points, and it is an extremely grindy game.
If you don't use cheat codes like emulators and stuff, the game is such a grind fest. Mind you, I played all of them, as a kid, and I beat all of them as normal, and then I played them with cheats. This is probably the one game I would recommend using like some type of cheat codes, where just because it makes life so much easier, and even though it makes life easier, the game's still a grind fest.
It's so grindy, dude. Like this is one. Not only is this game slow as fuck, like battles have really slow animations. Your character and the Digibeetle that you control in this game all move really slow. This is 100% a fast forward type game.
100%.
Like 90% of the time you're playing this game, you're just in fast forward. It's cool though, because it's a mystery dungeon game. Like the dungeons,
dungeon crawler.
Yeah, they're not randomly generated like mystery dungeon games, but they are they're in the same style, where like the enemy won't move until you move, and then when you hit them, you engage in classic turn-based combat. But the thing that really makes this game so grindy is the asinine leveling system.
Yes, I was about to mention that before. You have to DNA down to level up, which is the most weirdest thing, because we all know, if anybody knows Digimon, DNA Digivolving is 2 same levels or even sometimes a higher level. Goes up to a different level Digimon, but higher. So 2 champions equals an ultimate. In this game, you do 2 champions that go into a rookie, and that's how you level up. So you max level, let's say early game, max level is 13 for a lot of Digimon.
Sure.
You need to have two max level Digimon that are level 13, and champion level Digimon. They DNA into a rookie. So now that rookie's level max climb is usually about 15 to 16, and you have to keep doing that over and over and over until you get to the point of like you get to your ultimate, and then you just keep on doing it. It's such a grind fest. It's terrible. There's certain points. There's certain points that the game helps you. So with the what's it called? I was about to say Pokemon Center. The Digimon Center gives you Digimon that are usually like ultimate level Digimon to help you, and then you can find a Metal Greymon randomly. Not randomly, but you find a Metal Greymon that helps as well, and that grind fest kind of like helps you out. So like when you max out those ultimates, then you combine them, and then you're able to get a higher level Digimon and so on. Yeah, a lot of the Digimon that they give you, you can carry through like 90% of the game, honestly. And there's a trick that you can, if you catch the Metal Greymon in the area that he's always in, and then leave the dungeon before finishing it, if you come back, you can catch a second one. So you can use that. It's not just a second; it's infinite at the moment. Yeah, until you complete that dungeon. So you can do that to like grind early and get some really strong Digimon with really good abilities, because the Metal Greymon is busted. Oh yeah, solid, because he's the one with the Hornbuster, right? Yeah, he's got the Hornbuster. He's Hornbuster plus Giga Destroy. Yeah, really, really good. I think the story of it is pretty solid too. The idea of the story is that the bad guys kind of trap the people, but like they made them disappear from Fire Island into a different continent. Yeah, and Folder, so they're trying. They're trying to get back to Fire Island and take back what the enemies did and stuff. Pretty cool idea, and it's kind of like Digimon World 1, like after Digimon World 1 little bit if you think about it, but like not really, because nobody connects. But you could say maybe it's like a way future type of way. Yeah, definitely. It definitely feels like it exists in the same world in a way. Yeah. God, the more we talk about this, Funny story.
Tell me your story.
This is the game that I got from Blockbusters, and then I ended up stealing because I never brought it back.
Damn.
So my Digimon World 2 is in a Blockbuster thing.
Damn, dude, there's still one more Blockbuster in this world. They're gonna find you.
Yeah,
they're gonna hunt you down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Give us back our Digimon World 2.
That's a fact.
The more we talk about it, the more I want to put it at the top of B tier. Like
tragic.
It's really good.
It could just be nostalgia for me, but you're probably right, honestly.
We might shuffle it around later when we drop some more titles in here, but for now I'm gonna put it top of B. It's definitely not a mid game, but it's got too many pain points for me to like reasonably put it in solid. I feel like
I understand that for sure.
Let's move on. The GOAT. This one's got to be God tier.
DW3. This is straight up God tier. Yeah. God tier. 100%.
Is it
questions
better
asked.
than 1 though? That's the big question.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Personally.
If you like OG type JRPGs, this is the game for you. Yes, there is definitely a lot of grinding to it. Yes, this is another game I recommend using some type of cheat codes to play, just because like grinding is crazy as well. I found the perfect cheat code. I don't know if you knew about this, Gino. So there's a way where you can like do an actual grind, but like make it feel reasonable. So there's a cheat code where you can your level, like so like your Greymon or something, you know how your sub Digimon have their own levels. Yeah. So each battle gives that one level Digimon a level. So you can grind, but not like have to be stuck in like the crazy grind. Right. So, but everything else, fantastic battle system. It's faster than Digimon World 2 for sure. Definitely, you get a lot of choices as Digimon, I think. Story is amazing. Galactimon, the OG. Great enemy. Great last boss.
Goddamn, what can we say about Digimon World 3? Digimon World 3 is, I don't think it's better than World 1, and I'll tell you why. The last third of Digimon World 3 is really rough. Once you start like having to travel all around the map and you have to use the terrible underground area and the Submarimon area, like that really like Dan and I talk about this all the time when we talk about this game, but he literally has the maps of Digimon World 3 saved on his phone. So that I don't be playing with that shit because it's so annoying to try to find everything. Because like I know some of them off the top of the head. Like I have some of it memorized, but not enough where I'm like I know which way to go. So like I know which hole to go for certain spots, but I don't know which way in the tunnels to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, dude, it's confusing. You're like you've got like this isometric view, so you're like overhead and like turn sideways a little. So like even if you have a map, you might get lost a little. So like, even if it's like if it tells you north, south, like now north, south, east, west, like because it's like this. You have to figure out which way is the actual north and stuff. It's a headache. It's a whole complete headache. But besides the last little bit, and also there's a lot of backtracking in this game. You're constantly bouncing back and forth to talk to one character to progress like the main plot again. So like you're just going back and forth a lot. But other than that, the game's really good, really solid JRPG. And you know, cool thing because like it's really like kind of like your class is probably the closest game of Digimon that's close to Pokemon-esque, but because it has that JRPG stuff, like you have equipments to give your Digimon as well. You have different ways to boost them. You have different ways of leveling up besides just battling, because you could do the trainings with like Leomon, and gain stats that way as well. You could kind of make your Digimon the way you want them to be. Like they all have their own like Agumon, for example, is really good at defense, but super slow in speed. Right. But you can create them your way, how you want anyways, even though they kind of give you a guideline on how they should be played, you know? Right. No, yeah, but with the training, you can choose which stats you want to boost instead of just, you know, like this is the offense character, this is the defense character, you know? Really downsides good. For sure, I would say is the backtracking. Downside again is that you have a lot of Digimon, but you don't have a lot of Digimon that you can use at the same time, I feel like. Right, you have just your 3, but they basically any of them can digivolve into any of them. It's just a matter of when. So I don't know. Game's really good. It was the first Digimon game to introduce equipment to your Digimon. So this one's actually a little close to the story titles. So you can equip swords and shields and other armor and accessories and stuff. If you really like Super Nintendo RPGs, you'll be right at home with this one. Like this feels like it's right in that niche of like, it's harder than like a modern RPG, but it's
way harder. Ain't no questions about that.
For sure. It's a lot harder than like a modern RPG. And it feels like it could be Super Nintendo, but obviously it's on PS1. Great game though. Great game.
PlayStation 2 JRPGs have nothing back in the day on today's games have nothing on them. On sure. Difficulty.
Speaking of PS2, let's talk about Digimon World 4.
Ooh.
So
absolutely
game,
that is trash tier. It is complete trash tier. That game is so dog shit.
I'll be honest with you, this game I think is not that bad. However, it is not a good Digimon game at all.
Absolutely not.
I don't think it's a bad game, but this is a different game with a Digimon skin over it.
Completely different. Yeah. I don't know why they did it the way they did it. Realistically, like especially when you have 1, 2, and 3, the way they popped off, and Digimon World 4 is like completely opposite of anything else they've done so far at that point. It's cool because this is probably the first introduction to X-Anybody Digimon and first introduction of Doremon.
Right.
The idea of it is kind of cool. You know, you're playing as a Digimon that has a weapon and you're just going around freestyle and bodying people. The thing that sucks about it is if you're playing single player, this game is hard as shit.
Very grindy, kind of fun. Difficult.
The game is kind of fun when you're playing with friends.
Sure,
I've definitely played it with 3-4 players because I've had a group of friends that we played it and we beat it, and it makes it easier to game. But the game still sucks. Like it's just no questions about it. Like even with friends, even though it's fun with friends and stuff, the game is just still like just terrible.
And you never digivolve until the very end of the game if you've completed like very specific objectives. Like it's not a Digimon game.
Yeah, it's so weird because you have to do side quests to get them. And like, let's say even you pick Agumon first, the easiest evolution, if I remember correctly, was like Hercules Copterium X for some reason.
Yeah,
it's the most weirdest shit ever.
Yeah, it's so strange.
And it's just like the stats don't even carry over, so you reset a stat. So it's not like you're like, cool, I digivolve to a mega.
Yeah, that's right. You start at level 1 again.
I'm still at base level 1 stats. Is like, what's the point of even doing this at this point? Like, it's terrible.
Right, exactly.
It's just terrible.
It's not a good game. And the hub is so confusing. It's like such a large hub area that you have to return to like do quests, and you're going to be lost in there for the first at least 5 hours of the game. Like, until you're used to coming back and forth. It's not a good game. It's not a bad game, but it's not a good game. We'll put it top of trash tier for now.
Dino's trying to convince himself to put him in the B tier because he don't want to put mid tier. He's trying to convince himself to put him in mid tier.
I'm trying, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Let's talk about Data Squad. Digimon World Data Squad. I think it goes in B tier.
It's definitely B or mid tier.
I think it's all right, man.
I think it was good too. I don't think it was that bad. It is a bit slow and clunky at times, I think.
For sure.
Story's pretty solid. It's the Data Squad story for the most part, right?
Yeah, you play as the Data Squad characters. So Marcus, Thomas, Yoshino, and Keenan, Keenan instead of weird. I watch it in Japanese, so like it's hard for me to think of his name sometimes. But it's not bad. It's honestly a pretty standard like JRPG. You get these. It's like the battles are 3-on-3 typically, and you level up your Digimon. They digivolve based on requirements, just like you would expect. Like, I think it's solid, and the art style is really nice. It's got that cel shaded art style, so especially if you emulate this game, you can like sharpen up the models, and they look really, really good. Yeah,
I've never played it on emulator. I played it on. I want to say it came out on PS2 back in the day, or was it PS3 era? PS2, yeah, I played it PS2. I remember playing it. I think it was solid for sure, and it gave you a lot of different evolution lines for sure for your Digimon. So it didn't feel like you were stuck in like one way and that's it. Like obviously Marcus's Agumon's main line is Shine Greymon, but you were able to get like I think like Wargrey X and stuff like that, if I remember correctly, and like other different lines.
I don't think the X antibodies were in here. Maybe they were.
I thought they were.
For the life of me though, as much as I enjoyed playing this game, and I did, I cannot for the life of me remember a single thing about the story except for like there was like one or two new characters that were like central to the story that like didn't exist in the anime at all, in the Data Squad anime. So
yeah, it's based on the story is the actual anime, right? If I remember correctly,
it's technically a midquill. Like it happens partway through like the anime.
Okay. And then they threw in the seven great demon lords at the end.
Yeah, they're like a lot of the bosses at the end are the seven great demon lords. It's an okay game. Again, I think if you like classic JRPG games, I think you'll enjoy Data Squad. I think it's a fun game. Digimon World Championship. This is straight up trash. I don't like this game. I do not like this game, bro. I feel like I would have liked this game if I played it as a kid, but I did not play it as a kid, and it feels like it does not respect my time. This game acts like a VPET game. So you're feeding your Digimon, you're raising them like that, and then you take them into battle where you have no agency over them. They do whatever they want to do. And it's just, I remember I reached championship level. I beat the game, got the credits. I'm like, never playing this piece of shit again. I didn't like it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I played it. I don't remember playing it at all.
It's not worth
I'm trying to think if I did or didn't. Is this on the DS?
Yeah, this was the original DS. I think it's better than Digimon World 4.
I probably did play it, but man, I just don't have no recollection on it.
The best thing I can say about Digimon World Championship is that the sprite art is really, really good. Like all the Digimon look really good in the little sprites. But that's like the only thing I can take away from it. I remember you guys were like doing a pod or something, and I heard this game's OST in the soundtrack, and I had like fucking Vietnam flashbacks. Like
I had PTSD on it. Oh my god, that's great.
So yeah, we'll put it at top of trash tier. I think it's more novel than Digimon World 4. It's actually a Digimon game. Which is more than you can say about Digimon World 4, so we'll put it above World 4. Let's move on to this is a good.
Wait, backtrack.
Yep.
Because this is by order, right? Where's Rumble Arena?
So this is by order, but Rumble Arena is thrown into the spin-offs category. So we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay. My fault. Go ahead, continue.
No, you're good. This one is my go. I think this might be my favorite Digimon game, period.
Which one is that? I can't tell what that is.
This is Redigitize.
Yes. It's definitely up there with God tier.
Honestly,
no question to ask.
This is my favorite. It's so good. It is the perfect version of Digimon World 1, in my opinion. It's not obtuse. It's very easy to understand it. It has excellent characters with a really cool story. I cannot put this game higher. Honestly, I'm putting it as number 1 right now. We'll see how it goes.
So that is because Redigitize is the next Digimon World 1 game, and that was such a perfect like sequel to that type of game, because obviously Digimon World 1, 2, and 3 were done differently, and Redigitize brought it back to Digimon World 1, and the changes they made were phenomenal. The grinding, because they made it progress so much easier than it was Digimon World 1, and it's just such a better game. Like the story is amazing. This is the one with Taiga, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And then this is where the first time you see Rina, as you can see in the little picture, the All Force Vidramon tamer. What else? I just remember the game being goated. So this is the first time we never got it in America.
That's correct.
I played it when it first got translated, and I just loved the game. I was so hyped when the fan translation came out. Being able to play it on emulator was such a great time. It was fantastic.
This game rules. For the viewers at home, I included the 3DS box art, which is technically the enhanced port. So it has extra Digimon. It has an extra story at the end. That's the version you want to play. But if you don't really have a 3DS, the PSP version is still goated. Like, this is, take every pain point, everything you didn't like about Digimon World 1 and fix it, and that's Redigitize.
Basically 100%.
It's so good.
I love everything about it.
Same. On to another goat, Next Order.
Ooh, go 100% go status.
For sure. Is it better than 1? Like,
so the nostalgia in me, the nostalgicness in me tells me no, but the brain is telling me like, yeah, it is, just because it improved so much on what Digimon World 1. This is an actual like
this is like
follow up to Digimon World 1. Yeah, direct sequel to it. This one allowed you to do everything you do Digimon World 1 and Digitize, but double, because you're allowed to have 2 Digimon at once. I think it's so awesome. Like the man, the growth of the city is so cool how you do it, because you're in this like bummy really rundown. Grows. Yeah, the bummy rundown ass like town, and then by the end you're just this giant ass like city, like an actual city where like every little growth you do, you see the improvements in it. It's so cool to me how they did it. The story is the only downside in my opinion, because the story is like a little
it's not as good as the Digitize, that's for sure. Like the characters aren't as strong.
No,
like,
they're not.
But it's cool to see Analog, the Analog boy, the protagonist of Digimon World 1, like grown up and like in an actual character.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool to see him. But like, dude, there is nothing quite like the first time I died.
You get bodied by a red Digimon?
No, I died with my 2 mega level Digimon, and I was like this close to beating. I'm like, oh fuck, man, now I'm gonna have to go back to my last save. I don't even remember who it was. It was some boss fight. Okay.
I got you.
My guys both died, and then I'm like, fuck, it's over. So I'm getting ready to like restart my Switch. I was playing the Switch version, and all of a sudden the music starts playing, and my guys are like, wait, we're gonna DNA Digivolve, and like Amimon's work comes out and bodies the boss like it's nothing.
Oh,
and I'm like, holy shit, this is the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah. Side note, there is 2 versions of this, so you just mentioned it. Everyone who wants to play this game or hasn't, get the Switch version, because it has better quality of life things in it, like being able to actually run. Being able to run is so clutch, because the game is slow, especially in big areas. There's like many big areas, and it feels like it takes forever to get there. In the Switch version, you have the ability to run, and that just makes life so much easier, with other small improvements as well.
There was
just a better version.
Next Order added an easy mode as well, and it actually didn't change any of the difficulty. It just changed your stat gains and your bit gains, your money.
Yeah.
So it just makes the grind more bearable, because it can be a very grindy game. And also, I do want to note that the Switch is region free. So this game didn't. If you want a physical version of this game, you can buy the European version and pop it in your US Switch, and it'll play for you.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and since it's European, you can just set the language to English, and you're good to go.
I have like an easy 100+ hours of gameplay in this game.
Seriously, you can dump so much time in this game.
My final, because I perfected the game, I got like 100% of everything. My final Digimon was Imperial Digimon Paladin mode with Armageddon with full max stats.
Hell yeah!
I just made sure they just never died, because I kept feeding them the food in the
one that like increases their lifespan.
The cafe. Yeah. It's great,
dude. Great game, awesome game. Really, if you really liked Digimon World 1 style of game, that VPET style, Redigitize and Next Order are definitely your go-tos. If you haven't 100%. touched a Digimon game in a long time and you're just like, oh yeah, I liked World, definitely try these. They're so good.
Yep.
Digimon World DS, which despite its English name, is actually a Digimon Story game, the first Digimon Story game. So if you're familiar with Cyber Sleuth, this one is, I'd say this is closer to Pokemon in a way, where you go out, you capture Digimon, you level them up, you evolve them, and then you evolve them down to raise like their maximum stats so that you can evolve them up later.
Correct.
This
put it in mid tier?
No. I just put it there to talk about it. I think this is my favorite of the DS World games. Do we go God tier or top of solid?
I think top solid, because technically Dawn and Dusk was the ones after this, right?
Correct. Yep.
And I think those were just done better than that one.
Really? I like this one a little better. I really do.
You think so?
I do.
I played both of them. I played all of those at least. So I know the differences. But man, it was just a fantastic game. That was for a DS game for Digimon, because that other game, Championships, sucked so badly. Like, this was such a refreshing good game. Definitely very close to Pokemon for anyone who likes those type of games, for sure. The grind is not bad, but it's really still a grind, because any Digimon game is a grind fest if you really think about it.
They're RPGs generally, so you're gonna grind
exactly. Story is pretty solid too. I don't remember too much about it, but I remember enjoying the game, the story of it.
I really like how this one really makes you feel like I know we're going to talk about Dawn and Dusk soon, but if I can compare it to Dawn and Dusk real quick, Dawn and Dusk, when you start off, you feel established. You're on this team. Yeah. You have like a couple ultimate level Digimon and your rookie, and it's like, I don't know, it misses for me a little, because Digimon World DS is just like a Digimon game where you are sucked into the digital world. You don't know what's going on. Everything's explained to you. And I prefer that story when it comes to a Digimon game. So
makes sense.
But yeah, solid game. You can't go wrong with it. That's the one I recommend to everyone who wants to jump into a story game but doesn't want to play Cyber Sleuth, basically.
Right.
Speaking of which, I knew it was right next, so let's talk about Dawn Dusk.
In the solid spot too.
For sure.
It's just like Pokemon in the sense of like Red and Blue. You got your two different colored versions, and then they have their own set of Digimon. And I think there's some that overlap, but like you got your main core Digimon that don't overlap.
I'll give this to you. I'll let you put it above World DS. I'm fine with that. Because the game is just really good, really fun, and you get to just play it twice if you really liked it and see what the other team is like, you know what I mean? Because it kind of has that feel of third generation of Pokemon, where there's like Team Aqua and Team Magma, but you're on that team. So it's like, it's pretty cool. I like Dawn and Dusk. I don't think it's the greatest Digimon game out there, but I do really enjoy it, and I think it's a very solid entry.
I believe they give more Digimon later on to get than DS as well. Like they added more.
Yeah, definitely.
To me, anytime you add more Digimon, the better. So,
yeah, absolutely. More to get, more to see, for sure.
Yep.
This one you might not have played, Dan. This one is Digimon Story Lost Evolution.
I did not play that.
Okay, so I can speak on it a little bit. I think it is also up here in the solid tier, and it's just behind World DS because it has a couple pain points. It is the same style.
Fan translation to that, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's how I played it.
Yeah, that was like way after me paying attention to fan translations.
Honestly, I think the fan translation's fairly new, like a couple years ago new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I haven't paid attention to the stuff that recently.
Right. So with this game, the main plot is that all the evolutions are lost. That's why it's called Lost Evolution. So what you have to do is you have to collect these plates, and then you restore the plates using a DS like touchscreen minigame, and you put them back into the Digivolution tree. So like even if your Agumon can Digivolve into Greymon, if you did not find the Digivolution plate, he just can't. And it makes the game a little more grindy, but the main problem is there's an Octomon in like the second or third town who says, hey, if you have any extra plates, give them to me and I'll give you items. And these items that he gives you are some of the best equipment in the game. So you have to do this basically, right? The problem is every time you want to clean a plate, you can ask the AI to do it for you if you've already cleaned that plate before. So you don't have to do it again. You don't have to play the mini game again. But it is not sped up at all. So that means you're sitting there for 45 seconds every single time you restore a plate. And Octomon needs like 500 of them. So
God damn.
Yeah. I played this on an original DS, and I did not have fast forward, and I regret that.
He said, I regret that.
So like if you're gonna play this game, it's tough because like if you emulate a DS game, then you're not going to enjoy the touchscreen mechanics as well, because like they're just harder to use. Like even on your phone, like it's kind of shitty. So good game, solid game. Obviously, I'm putting it in solid tier. But I think the other two DS story games are just a little better.
Okay, makes sense.
Here's an untranslated one. I'm really hoping that it gets translated. This is the last of the DS story games. I imagine it's very similar to Dawn and Dusk. This is Super Cross Wars. Yep. This is Super Cross Wars Red and Super Cross Wars Blue.
Wow, really Pokemon right there.
Yep, basically. Just like Dawn and Dusk, obviously inspired by Dawn and Dusk, and obviously it follows the Cross Wars or Fusion. They call it Fusion, right, in America?
Yeah.
So it follows that. I know you play as Taiki in this one, and yeah, I honestly don't know that much about it because it's untranslated. I know that there is someone working on the translation, but it has been dropped and picked up and dropped and picked up. So
okay.
I don't know if it's ever going to get done. I hope it does because I love the story games. And speaking of the story games
phenomenal
that I love, we got to talk about Cyber Sleuth.
Here's the goats. Another goats.
Goes all the way up in the god tier. But where?
Oh man, that's tough that we have to like put things in front of other things. Realistically, it's probably like right next to Digitize.
Yeah, you're probably right, honestly. Cyber Sleuth, and I'm just going to pull Hacker's Memory up here as well because they're almost the same game.
Yeah.
I personally like Cyber Sleuth a little better. I think Hacker's
realistically,
Memory,
I could put Hacker's Memory in solid because, or the bottom of God tier, just because the game feels like it's the exact same game. The story is a tad different.
Let's put it. How about this? We'll put Cyber Sleuth in front of Next Order and Hacker's Memory behind Next Order.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Cyber Sleuth has a better story, but Hacker's Memory has better characters. The characters are more memorable in Hacker's Memory. But yeah, if you buy the complete version, you get all of the Digimon combined, because otherwise that's another point on Hacker's Memory is that it has more Digimon than Cyber Sleuth, but you just buy complete edition and you get both basically. These are like, if you like Persona and you like Digimon, you will love these games because they feel very Persona-like. Where you travel around like a very small hub city, there's stuff you can do, and then there's also like the dungeon. So there's like almost like the slice of life element and then the dungeon RPG element. So
yep, I agree on that.
That's the best way I can sell these games.
They completely enhanced the farming system too. So you get like 5 farms, I think, by the end of the game, something like that. You're able to obviously train your Digimon with you, and then you can also train your Digimon there as well in the farm system, and you can have different equipment in them for different effects to increase stats and stuff, which is pretty cool, or very specific stats, I should say. There's different things you could do with it. It's really cool to be able to like have your Digimon team, but also your other Digimon that you want to get eventually, also leveling up at the same time. Maybe not as fast, but at least they're not left behind where you're like level 50 and you have Digimon that you maybe want to work on eventually at level 10 or something. And now you're just in a weird situation where, Pokemon games, for example, like you never gonna evo them. You have to like go like through the old past cities or something to like try to level up those Pokemon or something.
Right.
Well, in this, at least you're 50. Hey, they might be at level like 35 to 40, but they're playable. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to backtrack to like train them, and you're perfectly fine with that. This game, there's a way to cheat the system, the XP system. You get yourself some platinum mons with the USB tacticians. Yep. You have 3 on each one of them, and you have all 3 in battle, and you have the rest of your Digimon with you. And then you battle something, and there's an area where you can get about like 400k XP per battle, and you just grind up and level up, and you get whatever you want as soon as possible, which is so good. And that's how I got every Digimon in the game. By doing that. The
thing with this game too is that as you were talking about just a moment ago, how you can have some of your other favorites in the farm leveling up. This game, as you progress, you gain more memory for your team. Mm-hmm. So as your memory expands, like, I can only take maybe 2-3 rookies with me, but by the end of the game, you have a team of, I think it's 9?
8 or 9, yeah.
8 or 9 megas.
And then it's 4 maybe?
Something like that. I thought it was 333, but...
Is it 3? Oh, it might be 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be 9 or 12, somewhere around that range. I know it's some number.
Either way, you can have a huge team of Digimon, and you start to play it like a Pokemon game where it's like, okay, I need a data type, I need a virus type, I need a vaccine type. You know what I mean? Because
typing matters in this game.
They mattered in the other story games, but in this game it matters by far the most.
Yeah. Another cool thing I just thought about it, for anyone who was like an Examon fan, this is the first game you kind of see the size of Examon too.
He's fucking huge
in the game, because you see him, you battle him, and he's just so enormous. Like it gives it like the real credibility of what Xmon is, and what like lore wise Xmon is this giant ass god, you know, dragon Digimon as the ruler of all dragons. You kind of see him in the game, and it's really cool to fight him.
You can get
the
it
stories
too.
Yeah, for sure. The story is phenomenal too.
Both games really.
Seeing the swerves of like what's her name, Kyoko being an Alphamon, and then you seeing the other one being Lord Nightmon. I forget her name right now. The characters Arata is awesome.
Arata's awesome.
Is the Dioboromon tamer, if anybody knows the card game, obviously. What else? I remember Nokia with the Omnimon. When you see Omnimon the first time coming through, it's like such a boss moment in the game. The side quests are really good, are pretty solid too. Like they're not the best, but they do the job. Man, it's just a fantastic game. I love playing Cyber Sleuth.
Honestly, it's one of those games that like this is probably the easiest one to replay because there's such a low barrier of entry. You just hop back into it and you start playing, and everything just comes really natural.
I was literally about to mention like the replayability of that game is great because like it just feels awesome to play again.
It's just like a Pokemon game. It's got almost the same like replay value as a Pokemon game, really.
100%.
All right, let's move on. So now we're gonna jump down to a couple weird ones. These are the WonderSwan games. I don't think you played any of them, right?
I never got a chance. I legit just read the stories of them, and that's it.
First one, Anode/Cathode Tamer.
Trash.
It's got to be top of trash tier. It's not good, man. So these games play like a tactical role-playing game. So that means like overhead, you move your Digimon like units, and then you move them next to the opponent to attack melee. The problem is they don't give you any ranged skills until way late in the game.
No.
So you are literally walking across maps for 3-4 turns until you can get next to the other Digimon, and then you just body each other until someone wins. It's
as someone who played Fire Emblem, like that's terrible sounding.
It's so bad, dude. There's no variation to your Digimon again, and this is gonna come up very common. I'm just gonna say it now. Every WonderSwan game has incredible sprites. If you go on like the Spriters resource or like someplace where you can look at the sprites, the Digimon are so good looking in these games.
Yeah.
Like, the WonderSwan, I think graphically is right around the space of a Game Boy Advance. So like you can just expect like really nice graphics on these games. I'm gonna put Tag Tamers even lower than Anode Cathode Tamer because in this one, while the story is better than Anode Cathode Tamer, because in Anode Cathode Tamer, basically, you play as Ryo from Tamers, the 3rd season, and you basically have to rescue all of the kids of adventure who got captured. In Tag Tamers, this one actually explains how Ken got the Dark Seed and why he's evil.
But I wish they would have... like obviously I wish they would have translated, brought it over to like Western Hemisphere, but like the story of those WonderSwan games are so important to the story of Adventure 0102. I just wish there was a way for us, and Tamers. I wish there was a way for us to have gone there or something. Because
like, could you imagine being a kid and being super into Digimon, and you played Anode Cathode Tamer, and then you watch Tamers, and like episode 24, Ryo, you're like, holy shit, that's the guy. You know what I mean? Like that would have been so cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Unfortunately, it didn't work that way for us Western audiences. But the problem with this one, which is Tag Tamers, is you play as both Ken and Ryo, and what they ended up doing is you swap back and forth between them, and you can trade your Digimon back and forth between them, which is good, so you don't have to level them up twice. The problem is you just go through the same area once as Ken, and then you go through that same area as Ryo, and then you go through an area as Ryo, and you go through it again as Ken, and it's not very good. The best one of the three is this one. I think this one's called D1 Tamers. I'm going to put it in mid. It just irons out the problems with D1 or with Tag Tamers. Oh, by the way, Tag Tamers and D1 Tamers are not they're not TRPGs like the first one. These ones are your classic RPG games where you're fighting 3-on-3 with turn-based battles and stuff. So it gets better, is basically what I can say for that. And again, it expands the story on O2's Ken mythos, basically.
Yeah, so basically, if anyone doesn't know, like, quick rundown of the story.
Yeah, go for
basically
it.
Millenniumon is the main antagonist of everything that happens in 01 and 02. He's the reason why, you know, WonderSwan did his things. It's the reason why Dark Masters popped up. The Dark Masters was really working for Millenniumon. Right. And then APOC just accidentally shows up just because of the negative energy. I believe that's what it was.
I think so.
Obviously, like, we see an adventure, we don't see what's going on behind the scenes with Millenniumon. And while that's happening, Rio is fighting Millenniumon, and his what's it called? His I forgot what his Digimon
Monodramon.
Monodramon is basically his Millenniumon, right? If I remember correctly.
What happens at the end of 02, or not 02, at the end of D1 Tamers is Millenniumon goes, you fight him again, because I think you fight him as the final boss in all three of these games. I think one of them you fight him as Millennium, one of them he's Moon, etc. I don't think Zed existed yet. But in one of these, you fight him at the end, and he goes, yeah, well, you can't defeat me because I'll always be with you. And he embeds himself in Rio's Digimon.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, yeah.
And then in the next game, which is down here untranslated, I'll just throw this right here in the untranslated section. You can see the Monodramon here. He becomes his Monodramon, and Rio has to try and tame him and sort of fight the Millenniumon out of him, I guess.
Right. And so within that time frame as well, Ken is been in the Digimon World, as in like the second game, I believe he starts in, right?
Right.
And so if anybody remembers in 02, when Ken's having those dreams, that was a Millenniumon they were fighting, and that's where the Dark Spores came from, because the Millenniumon is the one that created the Dark Spores and infected them, and he's the one that quote unquote killed Rio, even though he didn't kill him.
Right. He basically launches him through time.
Yeah, and that's where Ken got the idea of Chimeramon, because he fought Millenniumon and whatnot. Right. So many little things like that we just didn't know in the Adventure 0102, but for whatever reason they decided to put in the games.
All right, so next games, a couple more untranslated games. This is PS1's Pocket Kalumon, or I honestly don't know anything about this game, so we're just going to move on. We're just going to drop the next two WonderSwan games. One of these is a card game. In fact, I think there's another one down here. I'm going to just throw this in here now while I'm thinking of it. Two of these are card games, WonderSwan card games, and the very beginning is translated, but nothing else is, and none of the cards are.
That's weird.
But you play as Staccato, and you play the card game. So I would really like to play those games.
IRL card game, or like a card game made for the game? Do you know by chance?
I'm honestly not sure. I think it's just made for the game.
Gotcha.
I don't think it was an actual card game that was turned into, the physical form. I'm not sure though, because if you look, it's kind of hard to see because the images are so small, but there's an image of a card here on this one. And I think that was a real card that was like packaged in the box. So it may have been,
word. Okay.
But anyway, let's move on to the PSP Digimon Adventure.
Never got a chance to play it, unfortunately.
Really? You didn't play this one? I thought you did.
Nope. No, I never did. I read about it and I was trying to get it at the time, but I was never able to.
I'm going to put it at the top of B tier.
Ooh, okay.
It is very similar to Data Squad when you think about it, except instead of being a Data Squad game, it is a game about the plot of Adventure. So in Adventure, you basically just play you play Adventure as if it were a game instead of an anime. So you play as Tai, you play as Matt, you play as Sora, you level up all their Digimon. The one cool thing about this game is I'm pretty sure this was the first time their megas were ever canon for not War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. So in this game, you could actually play as Mimi's Rosemon or Joe's Vikemon. And there's a couple of them, like they gave
Hercules Kabuterimon,
Phoenixmon. They gave Ophanimon to Akari instead of Magna Dramon or Holy Dramon if you're a big Japanese fan.
Yeah.
It also has the same art style as Data Squad, so it also looks awesome emulated. It's a solid little game. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's pretty standard, and as an adventure fan, you almost owe it to yourself to next time you feel like watching the anime, try playing this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a good time. It's fun. It's not bad. And this is the last of the spin-off tier, Survive.
We got a very controversial game, I would say.
Where's it go?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I want to put it at the bottom of solid. You think too many pain points?
I'm trying to think because oh my god. I'm gonna say bottom of solid. I'm probably gonna cave and say bottom of solid. The game is such a I feel like this is probably like the most controversial Digimon game, I feel like.
Definitely. The problem is they teased it so many years ago and they said this is going to be a tactical RPG, it's going to have survival elements, and it's going to be awesome. And then what we got was a visual novel with some very bare bones battles. Now the story and the characters are fantastic. It's a really good story, and it's really dark. Like it takes some very dark turns.
This is definitely the darkest Digimon game we've ever seen. This is basically what would happen if Digimon were to really happen IRL. I feel like some people will be getting bodied. Like when I say bodied, people are getting either eaten or straight up getting killed.
Main characters die in this game. Die.
Being mind controlled by Digimon, kind of. There's a lot of shit that goes down in this game. The story of it is phenomenal. If you're able to play a visual novel game, because it's basically a visual novel with tactical RPG elements in the game, that's how I look at it.
Yep, for sure.
If you enjoy those type of games, you would definitely enjoy this game. There's a cool thing about it is technically 4 or 5 different. There's technically 5 endings. So you have you have your usual, like you have 3 different paths you can go down, which is what's called moral, truthful, I think it is, and then harmony.
No, it's harmony, truth, and wrath.
It's harmony, wrath. My fault. Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know why I said the first one. Yeah. And then you have your perfect run, which everybody saved, yada yada yay. And then I believe there's one that's like your complete bad ending where everybody dies and nobody survives, and so you're able to see that as well. The game is just like great. And then New Game Plus, you can do New Game Plus and carry over your Digimon, which is really cool, I think. So you don't have to go through the super grind. And they have New Game Plus stuff. So there's different dungeons where you can do that's way stronger at your point to help you like continue your grind and stuff.
Not only that,
there's a lot of different Digimon.
You have to do New Game Plus to get the true ending. So if you want to see the actual ending of the story, you have to beat it once and then go back and play it again.
Yeah, don't F up and do what I did.
What did you do? Did you mess up twice and have to play it 3 times?
No, I messed up once, which then I had to, so I read and I found out how you get Omnimon, and which is through the red path, wherever the red path is.
Wrath, I think.
Wrath? No, Wrath is green, I think, isn't it?
Red? I think red is Wrath. One's yellow and one's
Yellow
green.
is Harmony. Yellow is Harmony.
I think I ended up doing a Harmony run my first run.
Anyways, so I found out how to get Omnimon, which is the red path, and that messed me up, and I was all the way on the Harmony side. And so for me to do the perfect game again, I would have to run that same course again and go through that same way, unfortunately. Yeah, so that messed me up. I was like, ooh, I get Omnimon, and now I can't even. I was going through the second playthrough for a different, like the green or yellow one, whichever one's going through. You don't even have access to Omnimon because you have to play in that one way, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah, because there's a character that has the Metal Garurumon, and if you don't meet up with that character and keep him in your party, then you can't be Omnimon. Like,
yeah, exactly. What else?
Good game.
Yeah,
solid game. Great graphics. It's got a wonderful soundtrack. It's really fun to kick back and put on. But if you do not like visual novels, you will not like this game, because like 90% of the game is visual novel, and the battles are very, very bare bones.
Yeah, very easy. Nothing no hard thinking involved. Like
definitely, it's not as
just
bad.
your bare bones.
It's not as bad as Anode Cathode Tamer when it comes to the TRPG elements. You actually have range
attacks. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
To be fair, you can get ranged attacks in Anode Cathode Tamer, but they're so hard to get, and you don't get them until near the end of the game. It's a pain. All right, let's move on. We're on to spin-offs. Let's talk about Battle Spirit for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, that's a solid bottom of mid tier game if I ever seen one.
You think so? Yeah.
Hell
you
yeah.
know what? I agree with you. I don't like that. So this game is a 2D fighting game, but it's also set up like Smash Brothers, where it's like a platform fighter, so you can jump around. Yeah. The thing is, though, instead of like having ring outs like in Super Smash or HP like in another game we'll get to, which I think is going to go very highly because me and Dan both like that game. You have orbs. When you hit an enemy, orbs come out, and you have to collect them. And whoever has the most orbs at the end wins. It's weird.
It's very weird. It's clunky. It's because it's a Game Boy Advance game, and sometimes certain games were like just clunky back in the day. The battle system is your choice of Digimon is not that many.
To be fair,
Digivolve,
and I don't think
Dan Digivolve.
God.
I was about to say you can Digivolve, I think, a little bit, but it doesn't last long if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you can Digivolve, but it's only to Mega, and it's only for like 20 seconds or something. And during that time, you're invincible. And in order to do it, you have to catch Kalumon. Like you have to be. It's almost like if you play Smash,
the Smash Ball. Yeah,
it's exactly like the Smash Ball. But yeah, it's. I'm gonna go ahead and just put Battle Spirit 2 right behind it. I think it's the worst game because it's the Frontiers people, and
who cares about Frontier?
I just don't think the Frontier characters are as good. So, to be 100%. fair, there is a Battle Spirit 1.5 that I did not include in this tier list that came out only on WonderSwan, and it's basically just Battle Spirit 1 with more characters.
Because I didn't know this until just recently. Shout out to Literal Lucas. Battle Spirits was originally on the WonderSwan that they brought over to the Game Boy Advance for us.
Yeah, so there's a special Battle Spirits 1.5 that's on WonderSwan, and I've played through that, and it's basically the same game, but a lot of the unlockable Digimon are unlocked right off the bat, so you can play as Black Agumon if you want to play Black War Greymon, and there's some other ones too, but those games are just okay. Let's talk about the real Digimon fighting game, Rumble Arena.
Rumble Arena. Love Rumble Arena.
Solid or all the way up? I think solid.
I won't gas it. I'm gonna say original Rumble Arena would be B, and then the next one would probably be solid. I think. I don't know. I could put Rumble Arena as a god tier game. They don't compare to the others.
I love Rumble Arena.
So original Rumble Arena came out on PlayStation 1, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like you Smash in the sense of your.
It's another platform fighter. Free for all type of game, but way better than Battle Spirits, that's for sure. Right, because it has an actual HP bar, and you actually build up.
You have an HP bar,
which you then use.
So you gotta kill. You gotta beat the other opponent. I remember Reapermon at the end being so hard in the beginning when I was learning how to play the game. He was so hard to get. There was a lot of unlockables to the game, which was pretty cool back then.
One of my favorite features of Rumble Arena is when you pick your character, if you hold all 4 top buttons, you get the other version of them. So like, for example, in Rumble Arena, it's all O2 characters. So like, if you hold all 4 buttons and you pick Tai, instead of getting O2 Tai, you get Adventure 1 Tai, and it had his Adventure 1 voice actor, and like his sprite was the Adventure 1 sprite. It was really cool. Like you could just
I remember that. It rings a bell, but I don't remember if it rings a bell. I don't know. Really, I'm trying to think. And I only played it on like PlayStation 1 back in the day, so like, man, I don't remember if I did that, if I knew about that or not.
Yeah, try it out. Next time you try Rumble Arena, just try it out. All the O2. All the O1 characters can be down into their O1 versions. Yeah. And you can actually, if you pick Ken and Wormmon, you can make him Digimon Emperor instead of...
That's funny.
Ken. Yeah, it's super cool. It's just a fun little, like... This era of games, the PS1 era of games, are just so many cool little things that developers just threw in for players to find out and enjoy.
Giggles. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So you like Rumble Arena 2 more?
Yeah, Rumble Arena 2 is so much better. You don't think so?
I really don't. I don't like Rumble Arena 2.
I think it was B. Really? Why?
I don't know, dude. It felt so much slower. Like, okay, sure, you can do 4 players now. You can have 4 Digimon on screen when you battle, but like, the battles felt so much slower. I feel like everybody had so much more health that like battles just kind of drag on and they didn't feel as fun for me. Maybe this is one of those games that you just have to play with friends, because I just played, the solo campaign, but
could be.
I don't know, man.
I just remember it being so much better just because the graphics were better. Some of the fighting was better. I think there was more Digimon as well.
And you would evolve up the chain too. You wouldn't just go.
I just remember because I think it was like Agu Greymon and then it was like War Greymon, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, because I think they only have 3 levels.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember just enjoying the shit out of it.
I don't know, man. It's fine. Honestly, and this might be a hot take because probably not a lot of people have played it, but I think All-Star Rumble is the best version of this game.
Ooh, All-Star Rumble?
Did you play this one? This was on PS3 and probably 360. So,
yeah, a little bit.
So this one, same sort of style, but it had that more isometric view, so you were kind of top down. Almost. But it had a whole story mode for each character who had their own plot for wanting to go through the All-Star Rumble, and you would level up and evolve and stuff, and just the combat felt really good. There's actually moves for every single button combination with the direction. So like you can do like a down punch or an up punch or, You know what I mean? Like it felt the most fleshed out in terms of a fighting game, while still maintaining a lot of the things that make Rumble Arena 1 and 2 great.
Yeah. Yeah,
and also, of course, like you've been saying for most of this tier list, more Digimon means it was better. There was a lot of Digimon in this game because it went all the way up to the Cross,
right?
Yeah, so there was a lot of Digimon you could play as in this game. I think the first time I played through, I did Tentomon, and it was awesome.
Nice.
Good game. Solid game. Makes me want to put it in solid tier, but we'll put it top of B.
Side note, we gotta play the that fan made Rumble Arena game. They did so much with it. Like it's legit Rumble Arena, but it's extremely better. Like it's so goated. Like we gotta play it, Gina. Gotta play it.
Yeah, let's do it. We definitely gotta play. We should play it on stream or something. We should do it
for sure. I think it's also like 2-player too. Like we can both play it.
Yeah, probably. Here's another untranslated game. This is, I don't even remember the name of this one. Hold on, I have the
I don't know what that is
somewhere. Where's my list? Oh no, I lost the list. Give me a second. I'll find the list.
Yep.
So this one was for the kids station.
The kids station? The hell is that?
I'm gonna Google that real quick. Kids.
Is that like some Japanese thing?
It was something for the PlayStation 1, and it was Japanese only. The kids station controller. So I'm looking at pictures of this right now, and like it's just the 4 face buttons, and it's like big, like a Fisher Price thing. So like the kid could like smack the buttons. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So it was for the kids station. It was called List of Digimon Video Games. Let me find the name real quick. It was obviously never translated because we never got this peripheral. This is called Digimon Park. It was just mini games and it was for kids, basically.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm looking at. So it goes in the untranslated tier. It's probably not very good. Moving on. Okay, so here's a weird one. This one I think was originally called Digimon Battle, but now it's called Digimon RPG, and it still exists. And you can play it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It takes place.
This is not Masters, is it? You're not talking about Digimon Masters, right? Okay.
No, not Masters. We're getting to Masters soon. No, this one is Tamers based. So you play as. You play in the Tamers world, you select your Digimon, and it's like an MMORPG where you explore around, you can talk to other real players.
Right, yeah.
I don't think it's very good. I played 10-20 minutes of it, and it just was not doing it for me.
He's like, nah, fam. Bomb the trash here.
Like, I feel like there's a very specific type of gamer that would enjoy this game, and I'm just not that person. Like... those people who just really love MMOs and love to grind on them and will just play them for 10 hours a day. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's, I mean, it's still going, which is impressive because it came out around the time Tamers came out. So
Yeah.
like, there's something to be said for it. We'll put it at the bottom of mid tier. Maybe someone will try it out and tell me how wrong I am. Let me know in the comments.
Right.
Digimon Racing for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, this should be goated right here.
I don't think so.
It's just a terrible fucking Mario Kart game.
It's straight up mid. It's as mid as it comes.
Yeah.
It's just a racing game with a Digimon colored skin. You can digivolve
exactly.
By like driving over certain points on the map and stuff, which will make you faster and give you special moves. It is a fun oddity to play for like 20 minutes and then never touch again.
Yeah, I agree.
It does have a lot of unlockables though, so if that's your thing and you just like weird racing games, like give it a shot. But other than that, it's a mid-tier game.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, here's a couple more untranslated ones. This one, I think we might start. Let me check the list. I think we're getting into
just
the
dropping
realm
all the untranslated. Yeah,
untranslated and defunct.
Gotcha.
So this one is Digimon Gentrix, and this one I think. So this is the untranslated and defunct. This one I think was very similar to how Digimon was portrayed in Tamers, where you would get a card and then you could scan it onto your computer. Like it came with a little device where you would grab the card and you would scan it in and it would do something. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Gentrix.
Interesting.
Yeah, cool idea.
It sounds clear. Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like a cool idea.
For sure. But obviously it was only in Japan and it no longer exists. So it goes in untranslated and defunct.
Makes sense.
Next one is Masters. Did you play any Masters?
I played a very small amount of Masters.
How bad is it?
Man, I think it's probably better than the RPG version. If you're into MMOs and that's your thing, go ahead. The cool thing about that game though, it literally has every single Digimon in the game. Like you can legitimately get like every single evolution of anything you want. It's just a grind fest.
I got you.
And I'm pretty sure it's still going. I can't, don't quote me on if Master's still going. It's on
Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, I like they've updated it too. I don't know how recently, but I know like within like I think since 2020 they actually updated it like one time or something like that. Like so it actually gets updates, I guess. But yeah, it's just a better MMO than the other one for sure.
Makes sense. We'll put it middle of mid tier, I guess. It exists. It's out there. From what I understand, it is extremely grindy unless you're going to dump real money into it.
Yep, exactly.
This one, another one we didn't get, goes in translated and is probably my most interesting one of, if either Cross Wars or this one is my most interested on the untranslated list. This is the Appmon 3DS game.
Okay.
That we never got. And from what I understand, it plays a lot like a story game.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
It's just basically Digimon story game, but with an Appmon colored skin. Maybe someone will fan translate that for us at some point. I like Appmon. I'm an Appmon enjoyer. But yeah, whatever. Hopefully we get it someday. Digimon Super Rumble. I think this is the Korean only one. Let me double check. Yeah. So this one's still going, but it's going to go in the untranslated category. This is just a Korean MMO. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know what to tell you about that, but that's what it is.
We're getting a lot of untranslated stuff right now.
Yeah, a bunch of these are going to go untranslated. So here's another one. This is actually the first Digimon game. This is called... It was for the Sega Saturn, and it's called Digital Monster Version S Digimon Tamers. So from what I understand, it's similar to like the Virtual Pet style game. And I think it's kind of like... almost like a beta of what Digimon World 1 became, from what I understand.
Okay. Interesting.
So, I don't know. I don't know much about it. Same thing with this next one, which is... I don't know.
Man, we should have got rid of all the untranslated stuff first and then got into the good stuff.
Right? Well, no, I mean, we front-loaded, you know what I mean? So we got people to stick with us.
For sure. So we're getting to the dead part.
We'll put this at the bottom of B tier. This is, you probably didn't play this one.
B tier.
This is a WonderSwan game.
Okay.
And it is literally just a virtual pet game on your WonderSwan. So it's is literally just a VPET, but for WonderSwan. There's a translated version of it out there, or it might be one of those games that you don't need a translation. But I've definitely played it, and it's solid. You can, since VPETs require like real time, like in 2 hours your guy digivolves, you can speed up the clock so that you can play it faster on your WonderSwan. So it's kind of neat. We'll put it at the bottom in B tier because
interesting.
I think there's a market for just the VPET style games. So we'll put it there. Here's an untranslated one, Digimon Partners. I think this is also for WonderSwan, and I think it was an expanded version of the VPET one. So like,
hey why did they make so many Digimon games for the WonderSwan that never came out in America?
Because the WonderSwan was made by Bandai.
Man,
like they literally
was it
made
really?
that. Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
that.
The Bandai WonderSwan.
That makes sense. That makes sense now. God
So that's
Bandai.
why there's so many Digimon games on it, but a lot of them didn't make it out. Here's an untranslated game. I believe this was another VPET style one, but it came out at the same time as the PSP Digimon Adventure game that we were talking about earlier.
I can't believe that WonderSwan game. That WonderSwan was so long. Like that lasted a while, right? for them. It feels like.
There's a couple really good WonderSwan games out there too. Like, and there are some games that were so good on WonderSwan that they made it to GBA. Like Mr. Driller was a WonderSwan game that made it to GBA. There's a bunch of them, but anyway, this I think was just another VPET game. It came out same time as Digimon Adventure, and it was for PSP. Digimon, what the fuck is this one called? Connection? Digimon. So this is now we're getting into the mobile titles. Collectors, Digimon Collectors. Did you ever play this one?
Oh, okay.
No, because it was Japan.
I don't think that ever came out. Yeah, that was never translated.
So this one's over here in the untranslated and defunct line. Next we got.
Sounds about right.
This one. Have you ever played this one? Digimon Heroes. This was a free-to-play collectible card game. Yeah, this one did actually exist in worldwide. It was terminated in 2017. It looks like.
When did it come out? 2017?
2016, I think.
I figured it was only like a year long. I knew it.
Yeah, it came out January 2016 and was terminated worldwide December 2017. So it lasted almost 2 years.
Almost
basically.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Didn't know about it.
I forget what I was doing. I think I was looking up stuff for DigiKnows, and I came across randomly Digimon Heroes stuff, and I was like, this looks kind of cool, actually. And then, like all cool Digimon things, we can't play it.
It died. Yeah. Yep.
Next, we got this one. Looks like this only came out. Yeah, this is Western exclusive. Did you play Digimon Fusion Fighters?
No, I did not.
So this was mobile only. It was based on Cross Wars or Fusion. And it only came out in the US, apparently.
What year did it come out?
It came out in 2014. Free-to-play Western exclusive RPG based on Fusion.
3 years after I graduated high school? Yeah, I was not playing that at that time.
Right? Like, I don't know, but...
And the worst part, like a lot of the mobile games had no type of like... promotion marketing or anything with them. Yeah, no marketing really. It was terrible.
So next we got Digimon Soul Chaser, and this one is only in Korea and China, and it is a free-to-play gacha RPG. So they're literally just trying to get people to pay money to roll their favorite Digimon.
Yep.
It's still going though, so it goes in untranslated.
Yep, they hate us and they don't give us anything.
So you can tell us about it. This is Lynx, Digimon Lynx.
Yeah, so I did play it. What years did it come out?
Let me double check. Digimon Lynx is...
I know it's defunct.
Worldwide 2017. Oh yeah, it goes in defunct. But you can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely anywhere between mid. I would say anywhere between mid and trash here probably. It was no real... That game, because I played it vaguely at this point because I don't remember too much of it.
Sure.
Not much of a storyline. The story is that Hina, this is the first time we've seen Hina. Right. The Link Dragons pop up in the game. The way the game played is during that era of mobile games, there was a lot of these weird like Link games where you like connect your Digimon on the bottom and like you do attacks based on like colors and stuff and all that stuff. It was weird. The game was very easy to get into like your mega level Digimon. Once you do, there was not much going on after that really. Like the updates were like Like it wasn't too fast of updates, and then like I said, the story was not much of a story to it. Not much to the game really. I'm not surprised it died as fast as it did. It is what it is.
Fair enough. Next one I know you played is also defunct, Digimon Re-Arise.
Yep. That one I'm sad about. I am sad about that being defuncted because I believe when they killed it for us, it was still going in Japan. Don't quote me. I don't remember though. That was a phenomenal story. It's a gacha game, 100%. 100% gacha game. But the thing about it was it had a so you had your story mode, you had your what's it called, like your PvPs. You also had like raid PvP type things in it as well. The PvP was legit. Like it was very surprisingly very meta. Like it was like meta sheepish in the sense of like, yo, the way to beat it is legit have the best Digimon with the best equipment or whatever it was. It was crazy. Like some of the Digimon early on wasn't that bad, so you had different teams, but it got to the point where like you had to high roll for the best Digimon, because if not, you was not doing well in PvPs, and you had some very specific teams with it, which was pretty cool. But the story mode, let me get to the story mode real quick. Really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the game where Harrismon is the main character. This is the first time you ever see Harrismon. You see Harrismon go through the lines. We see Doramon digivolve into a Gaiomon. This is where Gaiomon became like the main main line for Doramon in this game.
Okay.
Now you're Alpha and Doroga, which is pretty cool. This is where we see Heavy Leomon. This is Heavy Leomon's first appearance as well. Yeah, Heavy Leomon pops up here. There's a few other Digimon, the new Digimon they made for this game that we got in the card game already. So like the whole Harrismon line, obviously. Right. Heavy Leo, some other Digimon too as well. I can't think off the top of the head. But it was pretty cool. So in the very beginning, you're I forget what the character's name is. Hopefully we see them in Digimon, like the card game, because it's kind of sad how crazy trash Harrismon is. So it's very like, if you think about it, it's kind of like stereotypical Digimon storyline. So you get your main character, he's like, what the fuck is this Harrismon thing? And Harrismon is like, yo, I'm your buddy, let's be besties. And then like they become cool friends. They meet other people who have Digimon. Then you got the girl who's like, oh my god, you see my cute Digimon? And then you have like the one guy who's like, yeah, that's like emo and always angry, and then he doesn't like the main character for whatever reason, so he's the guy with the Doramon, and Doramon's like, I got you, boss, you know, everything, like that type of character. Like it's very stereotypical Digimon type characters. I'm not gonna lie on that part, but they weren't bad. And so they're in the regular world, and then somehow they get into the digital world, and they're fighting these bad fake Digimon. So there's like these like Digimon who are data but in the shape of Digimon. So like let's say you're fighting Greymon, but it doesn't look like Greymon, but it's like I don't even know how to describe, like a 3D Greymon. I don't know how to describe it fully. It's not like normal Greymon colors, but it's hard to explain. So imagine like
it's like corrupted.
An outline. Yeah, corrupted-ish, where it's not that, it's like, it's weird. And you're fighting all these weird things that's like that, and you find out who the main villain is. I don't remember who it is. And you're fighting, and Harrismon goes evil because he gets corrupted. And that's where we get the Razamon, I forget who he was.
Fury mode, I think.
Fury mode, yeah, Fury mode. And that's why he looks at like corruptedness, and that's how all the other Digimon look, the fake ones.
Gotcha.
And then he eventually, like, you know, as all Digimon stories, he finds himself, you help him, and then he becomes into the Razamon. Yeah, and he's pretty cool. He's pretty badass. And then you win whatever the fight is. I forget what it is. And then you get the help from everybody else. You see Heavy Leo. You see the Gaiomon, and everybody helps. And then whenever they killed it off, was in the middle of a story, and it got pretty good. And it just like, you know.
Right. Is Harrismon a data type?
I believe so, yeah.
I just remembered we got that Wizardmon that gives data types protection. I'm about to build a janky ass Harrismon deck now.
But like, there's only one Harrismon line, and it's so
it's bad. Yeah, it's just bad.
At least you get the Harrismon that's the security Digimon one.
Yeah. What makes me really sad about specifically Lynx and Rearise is that these games both had a healthy single player story. Like when they defuncted it, or however you say that, when they made it defunct, why didn't they just cut off all the online stuff and say, you know, you can still play this if you own it, so that way you could like download the APK and play through the story and just enjoy like the single player content.
Unfortunately, they didn't do that.
Yeah,
that's what sucks about mobile games. When they chop, especially Bandai has a tendency of chopping their mobile games in the middle of like the game's lifespan for whatever reason. I guess because it's not doing well in America or whatever.
It's not making money.
It just sucks, and you just never are able to continue playing them again.
It's such a bummer. Next games here, last couple we got Digimon Encounters, which is a defunct Chinese iOS game.
Heard of it, but never played it.
Yep. And then next we had of all things, a tower defense style gacha game for South Korea, and it was Atmon, so obviously it's untranslated and defunct. And then right now, basically the king of untranslated games is Digimon New Century.
I'm so mad we have not gotten that game ourselves in America. Like,
I know.
I don't know why they decided to make that just Chinese only. But man, it sounds like they're just having a fun, good old time making new Digimon, and the story sounds like it's pretty crazy. Like just the way, like, why is Cherubimon and Metal Garurumon DNA digivolving? You know what I'm saying? right. They added all these new DNAs, and it's just like things you wouldn't even think about, and it's so cool. They got these cool ass Digimon popping up like every 3 months, 3-4 months. I feel like now.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like based on Chinese mythology, which is just really fucking cool. The main character's design looks really cool. He kind of looks like a modern Tai in a way. Like,
the gameplay looks pretty solid as well. I'm pretty sure it's a gacha game because
I think so.
Most mobile games are gacha games, but it looks really solid. The graphics is pretty solid. I heard there is one mobile game. I know we don't have it on the list. There's supposed to be a Digimon mobile game. It's probably gonna be Chinese again. That's coming out. Don't remember the name of it, but that one looks pretty solid too. I don't know, it might be just a Chinese thing or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's generally how these go. So yeah, that's it. That's all the Digimon games. Is it safe to say that Digimon World Redigitize is the best Digimon game?
Oh man. I don't know. You think that's the greatest Digimon game of all time?
It's definitely my favorite. I don't know if that makes it the best, but it's definitely my favorite.
Right. Because I think just if you're looking at it like very factually, I think Cyber Sleuth is probably considered the best game ever, probably for Digimon.
Right.
But Digimon Worlds always have a special heart, a special place in my heart.
Same here. Whenever I recommend these games to people online, I always split them into, here are the story games you will like, and these are the world games you will like. If you're just like an RPG guy, you're gonna like the story games. But if you like the VPET elements, these are the games that you'll like, the world games. So, man. And then is it safe to say that Digimon World 4 is the worst Digimon game?
Yeah, probably. You probably put the championship behind it, maybe.
No, I feel like championship has its merits. As few as they are, but
yeah, I can say Digimon World 4 is probably the worst game.
It's literally just a different game. It is not a Digimon game. It's not a Digimon game that someone was like, "Hey, we got the license for Digimon. Make it that."
I don't know what crack they were on when they made that game, because it's it makes absolutely no sense the way it's made. Everything about it is just so off. It's just terrible. For sure. All right, well, I think that'll about do it. We went almost an hour and a half. This is podcast level. Maybe we could send this out as a podcast. I mean, this is a podcast. Yeah, right? It is a podcast. Right? Basically. All right. So,
thanks for joining us. Dan, thanks for joining me on this Digimon game adventure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe by next year we'll be able to change this up whenever they drop that new game that we're supposed to be getting.
Yeah, when it was announced in like 2017.
Oh my gosh, so depressed by that stuff.
Please, Bandai, please, just another Digimon game, please. It's supposed to be a story game too, so
yes,
it should
based
be
off Olympus 13.
Right. Yep. We can only hope.
Yep.
Well, this has been Gino and Dan and our Digimon tier list. I'm gonna download a picture of this tier list, and maybe we can have Varney tease this out on our socials, and then make people want to watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.